Hello, this is Lindsay Upton, the Quilt Quine, and we're going to be looking at Art and Stitch, the backdrop tool. Now, Art and Stitch is a very powerful software program for digitising. It has a very comprehensive manual and it also has very good online tutorials. Despite that, though, sometimes it's difficult to understand quite what to do, so videos can be very helpful. Let's see if I can show you a couple of simple ways of using the backdrop tool. Backdrop tool is where you can access pictures that you can turn into stitch designs. So if I click the backdrop tool, I've got some PNGs, which are basic photos or picture files, and they're stored onto my USB stick. So I'm going to open them up and see what I've got in there. Now, I have taken some screenshots from the internet of some simple designs, and this one, Scotty Cookie, which I'm just about to open, is a screenshot of a Scotty dog cookie cutter and a piece of dough. I'm going to show you how I can plot my way around this to get a stitch design. So this is the backdrop. What I'm going to do is make the background a little lighter using this slider and apply. There we go. And now I'm going to plot my way around this outline. At the moment, the image is only 41%, so I'm going to make it bigger because that will be easier to see what I'm doing. And I can use my navigator to make sure that the image is nice and central. Now you can use various drawing tools to go around this. If you've got a very steady hand, you could draw around it with the pencil tool. There's the line tool where I shall just add some points. You could use the curve tool to go around the curvy bits like the tail. I don't think it's necessary on this example, but you could also use the 3-point arc tool to draw arcs. Right, I'm just going to use line and I'm going to plot a series of points. So I'm just going to click around the little dog shape. And as you can see, I'm getting nodes at various points around my shape. These are straight lines at the moment. You can put as many as you think you're going to need. It's like a dot to dot pattern, and I will just click on the last point and then I'm going to right click to close the shape. So this is the outline that I've got so far. It's quite blocky at the moment. I'm going to use the right mouse button, right click. Then I'm going to choose Simplify Smoothen. This is where I have the settings. I'm just going to click OK. And it just makes it a little smoother around the corners. That looks good. Now I'm going to hide the background by clicking up here. There's my dog shape. So the dog is selected. I'm now going to choose the reshape tool to have a look at the nodes. So this is where I might swap some of them. So if I click this one first, I might make sure that it's a smooth point, and then I can just pull it into shape. If I've got too many together, I can delete them. There's a very straight section here, and it's okay because it's a cookie cutter, but I could add another smooth point, for instance, if I wanted to give him a more rounded leg shape. You can change some of the points so that they can do different jobs. Once you've finished tweaking the points to your satisfaction, and this is a cookie cutter after all, it's not meant to look like a real dog, I will select him again. I might just do Simplify Smoothen again. That's it. So it's just pulled all the nodes back into shape. We have an artwork outline of a Scotty dog cookie cutter. So now what I can do is apply stitches to this and click the sew simulator to see how that might stitch. That looks great. So I can either put that straight to my Qmatic, or I can save it. But in order to save it as an art and stitch file, I have to click the select tool, put it back to artwork, go to file, save as, and I will call it Scotty Cookie Cutter. Press save. And there it is. And I can now stitch it out. Use some of the other tools if I want, like the magic square or the other commands to do things with it. Okay, so we're using the backdrop tool today to try and import an image and turn it into a stitch design. So I'm going to go to File, New, Quilting. Okay, so I'm going to go to my backdrop tool and select one of the very simple drawings that I've found on the internet. This one is called Baltimore Hawaiian. So it's a completely solid, closed black image. I have found that photos generally don't do auto trace terribly well. This solid image should work. So we're going to go across to Magic Wand Closed Areas and click this. I'm going to take the magic wand into the middle of the shape and click it, and it has covered the design in little nodes, as you can see. Next thing to do is hide the backdrop, and now I've got all these little points around here. So I'll take the select tool, and it has turned it into a basic vectorized drawing. I'm going to right click on my mouse and do simplify smoothen, and it will just tidy it up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to select the reshape tool, and I get to see all of the nodes that I have got. If there are any that need pulling into shape, I can do that now. I might make it a bit bigger so I can see what I'm doing. There are some places where we've got double points next to each other. We don't need all those. So what we can do is just right click and delete some of them so that there aren't too many. Just makes the whole thing simpler. So you just need to work your way around the entire diagram until things are a bit tidier. You can pull some of them. You might choose to change some of the points either to smooth or to cusp like this by right-clicking on the point. And then you can just give it a little pull with your mouse and it might become a bit more defined. If you find that you're not getting your little nodes to move how you want, it could be that you've got snapped a point on, so you just press the letter S on the keyboard to disable it, and then you'll find that they should move quite easily. So I'm just keeping going around here. I might not need that one. Then I can grab my navigator to see where I'm going. Once I have checked around the entire design while it's showing its nodes, I'll just take the select tool, go back to it. Now I'm going to click center, press the space bar to get it to fit the screen. That's looking a lot tidier than it was before. I think I will just right click on my mouse and do simplify smoothen again. Now that it's had a tweak, there we are. It looks rather like an old-fashioned Baltimore or Hawaiian block now. It's got a kind of folk art look to it. So what I'm going to do next is apply some stitches and press play on the Sew Simulator. And that looks like it's going to stitch out very nicely. If this was the computer that's attached to my Qmatic, I would have the function to send it to Qmatic. But this is my laptop with my second copy of Art and Stitch. So I'm going to select the design. I'm going to take it back to artwork. And then I'm going to save this as an ANS file. So save as. Make sure you're saving it where you can find it again. So I'm just putting it onto a USB stick, Alt-H block. I might just jot that down in a notebook because otherwise I'll get so many designs, I won't know where any of them are. So there we have it. Two ways of using your backdrop tool. One is by drawing around a shape, which could be a photo, and the other is by using the auto trace wizard. Obviously, the backdrop tool can do far more advanced things than this, but those are just two simple ways that I have found work very successfully for me without any hiccups, and I hope that you will find these ways work for you too. Thanks for watching.